Hello, parents. Puck Community Charter Middle School. My name is Mr. Aparicio. As many of you know, when we first met in our first Zoom meeting, right? I teach ELA, sixth grade ELA, and also sixth grade ELD. So that's a little bit about me. Now, if you give me a moment, I am going to share with you my screen so that I can go ahead and show you how this year is going to look. So just some quick tips of how this year is going to look. So give me 2 seconds while I get this fixed. Okay. So again, welcome everyone. I hope you're having a great evening so far. So a little bit about me. Like I said, my name is Mr. Aparicio. For those of you who don't know me yet, I personally feel like I love working at CCMS because I love getting to know my students and building long-lasting relationships with them. That's one of the reasons why I decided to become a teacher, right? Because I love getting to know my students, right? I love knowing about their lives, how they work inside a classroom, how they work outside of a classroom, right? I really like getting familiar with their families too. So it's one of the reasons why I love working here at CCMS because we get to do that. And like I mentioned to you all already, right? I currently do teach sixth grade ELA, right? And ELD. So a little bit about me, talking about more of my educational background and some of the interests and hobbies that I have. I am an alumni from California State University, Northridge, right? So I got my bachelor's degrees from there. And I also got, I'm an alumno, right? Or an alumni from Loyola Marymount University. I recently got my master's this past summer. So a little bit about my interests and hobbies is I love going to the movies, right? I'm a real big superhero fan, right? Superhero horror, anything like that. I really love going to go see. I love going to beaches, right? I'm a big fan of Malibu, right? Santa Monica. I love going to the beaches there. And I also enjoy hiking. Let's keep that going, sorry. Okay. So now I'm gonna get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty stuff of my class. I'm gonna give you about 3 to 5 things that we're gonna be talking about, right? That may deal with major topics, right? Unit themes, novels, and the books, right? So a little bit about my class is that we're gonna be working on what's called the sixth grade vision statement, right? A lot of your sixth grade students, right, already know what that is, right? That's something that embodies who they are as soon as they come into sixth grade. We're gonna read a book next unit called Seed Folks, which leads me into the next project that we're gonna be doing, which is called the Community Service Project, right? It's the community garden that we have here at CCMS. And how it sounds, it's a community garden for our school. Some course materials, I'll make it brief, is a binder, right, which they all have, laptop, which we provide here at school, and class novels, which we'll also be providing. So those are some of the basic things that I need for your students to have in my classroom, which they already do. So my students already know this because we go over the expectations every other day, but I wanna let you parents know as well. That way that we're all on the same page. So some of the expectations that I have for my class is always following the 4 Ps, right? Making sure they're prompt, productive, polite, and following along with what the rules are in the class. Making sure that they're always here on time, right? I understand that things happen, right? But they know how to communicate with me. You guys know how to communicate with me now through either email, and I'll also introduce to you Class Dojo as well. Asking questions, right? I always love my students when they ask me questions because that way there I understand what they do and do not understand. Trying your best, right? I'm always a big advocate when it comes to my students making mistakes, right? Because without making mistakes, they're not gonna learn, right? So I always ask them to try their best, and it's okay to make mistakes, especially when it comes to, writing and reading. And as my students already know, and as I'm introducing to you all, right? I always want them to remember that this is our classroom, right? The classroom that they're coming with me, and that we are all readers and writers, and that we are here to learn, right? I try to make my classroom an open space for them to feel comfortable, as long as, we're all following the expectations, which they already do. Now I'm gonna go a little bit over my contact information. Your students do have my email already as it is, right? It's j.aparicio@puckschools.org. Here are my office hours as well. It's from Monday through Friday before school, during nutrition, lunch, and after school. I'm a little more lenient with them. If it's really, really something important that they need to tell me, I usually make certain spaces, right? Certain time frames for them to meet with me. And then my final thing that I want to introduce to you guys is the class announcements. Now, I do have the majority of you in Class Dojo, but for those of you that I don't yet, I already sent out an invitation via my email through Class Dojo for you all to accept. So if you, I still have a few parents that I'm missing, right? But that's okay. I already sent out an additional invitation so that you guys are aware that you need to be signed into my classroom. Give me 2 seconds. So that's a little bit of my classroom, how it runs, a little bit of a nutshell, right? Should you have any questions or concerns for me, feel free to email me, and you could also communicate with me to Class Dojo. Thank you again, parents, families, for joining our wonderful family here at CCMS, and I look forward to working with you all. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.